Once in a lifetime, she comes along and gives you love these days. Once in a lifetime, once in a lifetime.
Welcome to Kyle2U by Millennials for Millennials. Today we're talking about racism. This is our first podcast, and I brought in my friend Brandon Reed.
Good evening.
I don't know why he's talking like that. It's kind of freaking me out.
I don't know why you're talking like that.
Obviously, it's all about transforming your life, which is what Brandon and I talk about all the time.
Is that what we're here for?
It is what we're here for.
All right.
Okay, so what do you think about racist people? Have you had a racist comment? I personally have not experienced racism to me, but I have a ton of friends of various colors that I have witnessed racism right in front of me. One time in particular that I remember, my friend, I guess I shouldn't say her name, and I were in a store. We were kind of looking at, we were there together, but we're looking separately. She needed help. I didn't. The woman came up to me that worked there and was asking me, hey, can I assist you in any way, blah, 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 blah. I was like, no, I'm fine, thanks. Well, let me know, we're here, we're here for our customers, it's number one, etc. And my friend completely ignored, who happened to be black. I even said, I think she might be looking for something, and she was like, oh, okay, never went over there. Didn't even go over there, which I thought was ridiculous. Then, I actually made a comment a few minutes later and said, you know what, she is looking for, I forget what it was, baby clothes or something. And she was like, oh, okay, I'll get to her. Never did. Just went about folding clothes or whatever. That's just one example. It's not an extreme example, but to me it's blatant racism. I hope that answers your question. He said he's black and speaks Spanish and experienced racism. So tell us about that. So while he's typing that next question up, I hear a lot of people say on Facebook and Twitter and stuff, it will never die. Exactly, MX Miller. That's actually what I was just going to say, is that I hear a lot of people, particularly my white friends, some of my white friends, or acquaintances or whatever, will say things like, oh, well, it's the media perpetrating it, and if they would just leave it alone, then there wouldn't be any racism. They're the ones stirring it. No. The media's job is to report on things. And when racism is happening, and it's blatant and it's newsworthy, the media is going to report on it. Do you, right?
Right, I agree.
I don't think that there's some, grand conspiracy. It's hard because people see my Spanish background and I'm also half black and half white. Wow. So, you've experienced that, Adonis, or Donnie. Sorry if I'm messing up your name.
Okay. Give me like 2 seconds. Get some more water.
Okay. Well, our guest just left, so that's awkward.
Right back.
Can you tell us about it a little bit more in depth? Adonis said he has a Spanish background and he's mixed, black and white, and he's experienced plenty of racism. So I'd like to see what he has to say. I am mixed and get all kinds of questions, MX Miller. What kind of questions do you get? Typically, what are you? Of course. Yes. We get the same thing with my godson, and you'll get that a lot, and it's kind of insulting. Who cares what you are, right? People see all three of these traits and nosedive into a ton of racism, me being from Missouri. Ugh. No offense to Missouri at all, but typically in states like that, you tend to see more racism from what I know. How do you handle it? That's what I'm interested in. How do you be the bigger person? I'm adopted also, so I don't know about my race, to be honest. How do I stay out of these situations is the question I try to answer, but I can't. So, Adonis, how do you stay out of situations where you're going to get that question, and you answered it yourself? You can't. You can't get out of them. Because, one, there are always going to be people in life who are racist or ignorant. And a lot of racism comes, and hate of all kinds comes from ignorance, not knowing enough or being afraid of or what they've been ingrained in their head. So my advice to you is, in being the bigger person, educate them on it. Maybe you'll tell them about your background, but then educate them and say something like, to be honest, I don't know. Or, I believe my parents are black and white or whatever. However, I'm not used to a question like that. Make them feel really awkward, because whose business is it? You know, it's very irrelevant what color you are, what race you are, what mixture you are. Who cares? I think a lot of it, people just don't know how to handle it. You know, they don't know that it's not appropriate to ask somebody, what are you? So, are you ready?
Are you ready?
No one wants to hear a colored person talk about racism. It comes off angry. In regards to nobody wants to hear a colored person talk about racism because it comes off as angry, you're not saying that it's racist when you're answering that question. In my opinion, you just make them feel awkward. Oh, what color am I? I'm black and white. I've never had somebody ask that. Make them feel really weird, so then they know that it's not appropriate. Or you could just educate them and be like, you know what, that's really not appropriate. So that's my advice on that. Somebody said that racism is high in Australia. Is it black, white, white? Racism is high in New Orleans. That does not surprise me at all. Have you ever encountered a racist and said anything to them? I have, absolutely. I mean, being mixed in a city that is 98% white is almost like I'm an attraction. So do you think it's curiosity? People seem scared to be almost. I completely agree.
Whatever is a priority to you, it's, you know, it's whatever you put your attention towards. Yeah, obviously it's annoying and it can ruin your life if you worry about it too much. But if you give too much attention to an idiot, like if a child came up to you and called you a loser or like a baby or something offensive, are you going to really get mad at a young idiot child? No, you're going to say, okay, so, you know, don't worry about dumb people. Obviously, it's stupid to have those types of biases. We need to awaken and not worry about dumb shit. We learn from it. Clearly, racism is real.
Yes, I agree with you. However, at some point, and I'm not black.
You can't tell anyone how to feel. It's
for sure
not up to white people to tell black people how to feel about slavery and all that type of shit. You know what I mean? It happened. It was terribly unfortunate.
Yes, for MX, who said he's in a city which is 98% white. He feels like an attraction. The only thing you can do is you gotta rise above it, right? I mean, what else do we do? You're not going to be seen as angry, in my eyes, by any reasonable person. I don't think they're going to be seen as angry. But racism is very real, but being half white, the full black people in my community don't accept me either. That is, hey, she said, oh my God. That, Adonis, is very, very true. What he said is that being mixed, he gets his own prejudice from both sides, which is called colorism.
It's so ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And, you know, within the black community as well, that is an issue too, also called colorism. Darker skinned black people typically get, some people think I'm white black, some think I'm Hispanic. Yeah, for sure. And that's, I'm reading his. I got asked at the DMV if I needed my permit test in Spanish. Are you serious? That is crazy.
Why you got the hearts coming up on his head?
They hit love. So when we do good things,
I'm like,
see, they're giving us love.
Okay, right.
I was like, no, I speak English. Exactly. I mean, I guess it's called what they say, light skin problem, or that's what the black side says. Right. It's called colorism. So you'll get, you know, there's almost a divide sometimes with lighter skinned black people and darker skinned black people. And it's just as stupid as any other kind of racism, because to me, it's still racism.
Right.
People think I'm Spanish all the time, which, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But I get the same thing, especially from Spanish people. Will start talking to me in Spanish thinking that I'm Spanish. And I speak enough to get by, but I am not Spanish that I know of. And I get that all the time. So it's very interesting. I couldn't imagine somebody like you, where somebody just at the DMV of all places, like that's horrible. That's incredibly offensive. Can you imagine going to the DMV, being mixed, going to the DMV and being like, oh, you need the form in Spanish?
I don't think that's offensive.
You don't?
No. It's just someone who's stupid or just made a bad judgment.
Right, but they're assuming that he is unable to speak English.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's wrong with being Hispanic? So to assume someone is Hispanic is offensive, that is offensive.
But Brennan actually makes a really good point. Is it not offensive
to assume someone is Spanish if that's a bad thing, then why is it wrong to assume someone is Spanish? It's
Right.
Yeah, nothing offensive about that.
That's
I'm offended. They thought I was Italian, but I'm not. I'm Swiss. Like, what doesn't? Who cares?
That's actually a good point, MX. Did you think about that?
Think about racism from a white person's perspective. Like, we're constantly in the position. Like, imagine everyone always immediately considers that I'm racist just because I'm white, and that's something we have to do. I don't care. Like, I'm not going to get like upset about it. But from the other side of it, like being a European, you're the one who can never not be racist.
I don't agree with that.
Well, I know, but that's a lot of.
I'm sure there are people,
non-white people think that
because of what they've experienced their entire life.
right.
You know what I mean?
Right, but so that's my fault.
If I was at the DMV and somebody was like, "Oh, do you want your form in Italian?"
Right.
I would be not offended. I would be more like, "What?" Like, I would ask you if I wanted my form in Italian. Like, I would just be more annoyed at the stupidity, not offended. I'd be like, no, I don't want my form in Italian. I want my form in English. If there was anything different, I would ask you. Yeah, I mean, we've got to get past this. I feel like, what is your opinion on Trump? Oh my God. Okay.
I mean, he's pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy
He's
nice.
He's an entertainer.
He is an entertainer. Ass. Yes, he is an ass. Trump. I used to think it was funny. I thought it was hilarious that he was running for president because I figured nobody's going to take him seriously. This is 2015. You can't build a gigantic wall and, like, in a reasonable manner that's not going to cost trillions and trillions of dollars. He started becoming dangerous, in my opinion. He started getting credibility somehow.
He taps into a lot of triggers for people that piss a lot of people off that might not be talked about, even if they're racist triggers. There's a lot of racist people in the country, so clearly they're going to tap into it and go along with it. I mean, I think everyone from time to time can relate to the things that he says, but a lot of it is, exaggerated.
You're talking about some of the things he says.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things that he says that aren't crazy.
Right, yeah, I mean...
90% of it, though, is crazy. There's like the guy on American Idol that sucked and people thought it was funny and kept voting. Yes, until he won. What's the problem? He uses the media in a way to be the most talked about candidate and there's no bad publicity. Yes, there isn't a bad publicity, except when it becomes dangerous. For instance, him saying about Muslims, banning Muslims from the United States. To me, that's dangerous. Is it okay to remake The Honeymooners with black people?
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Who cares? Who cares? Why isn't it okay? I mean, who cares if you redo the Brady Bunch and it's all black people? Why does it matter what color they are? I'll never understand that. Oh my God, they made the fire guy in Fantastic Four black. How could that? How could they? Who cares?
Just make him green.
Think it will be okay to make Sanford and Son with all whites? Sure.
No, that's racist.
Right. Could you imagine him speaking outside of the White House and that comb over blowing up in the wind? No, I couldn't. That's very, very scary. And so getting back to Trump, saying we're going to ban all Muslims from coming into the United States, that's dangerous talk. It's no longer funny. Now,
it's kind of funny.
Now, to me, it's not funny.
No, I'm sure it's not funny.
Because you are telling the second largest religion in the world and the fastest growing religion in the world.
You can't see my face in this one.
Because you leaned back.
Yeah, no, I'm too comfortable. They can deal with it. It's fine.
It's very dangerous to say we're going to ban an entire group of people from coming into the United States. Feeding right into ISIS, to me, in my opinion.
It's all love or hate, man. It's love or hate. You choose one of them, you dance with it, you give it back. In that order.
Are we hipsters?
My dad's a hipster.
Little Rascals aren't allowed to be on TV reruns anymore. Who is this guy that keeps asking questions like...
His name was, I believe, David Dye.
From Kentucky.
His name, I believe, started with a W.
Because of buckwheat. I'm not sure what you're getting at. I'm ready to close the borders and not let anyone in, but I'm not a Trump fan. Here's the thing. We are a nation of immigrants. Unless you are Native American, You came in through the border. I mean, maybe not us, but our parents or grandparents or whatever. Just my feeling on it. How did this become political? See what you've done, MX Miller?
I mean, you brought up the Trump thing.
No, MX Miller brought up the Trump thing.
But then you made it a topic.
I did. I should have ignored it. And I wish people understood.
Son of a bee.
Until we get better security. He uses that kind of talk to start the media and then gets the support of the more ignorant U.S. That's exactly right, Adonis. That is exactly right. Then the media feeds off of it. That's exactly right. And then his poll numbers go up. I don't get it. Wounded Knee. You're not speaking in coherent, full sentences, so I literally have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm not a racist, I just really hate Filipinos. Only them.
Only the Filipinos. Would you date a woman not of your race? I have, of course. And you have.
Huh?
You have.
Can you repeat the question?
Oh boy. He's just joining us here. His name's Brandon.
Where? What? Is my dad here?
Would you date a woman of not of your race?
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, who cares? I don't think racial preference of women is considered racist. Neither do I. All of us here agree that racial preference sexually, now, wow, we're getting all kinds of love now. I don't think racial preference is racist at all. Do you?
No.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's like if you like somebody pleasantly plump.
Bodily preference? I mean, racial preference wouldn't be not like in a fat chick. That's a different scale.
No, but it's a sexual
Right.
or it would help your show. Oh, thanks, Rutka. This
What
is
would help?
knowing what I'm talking about. This is the
Right.
guy or lady who said it was just railing on about the honeymooners is allowed to be redone with all black people. That was their comment earlier, and now he's saying I don't know what I'm talking about.
I'm not going to put limits on how much she can hate. Because it's probably a lot. She's a hateful person.
She
I
is.
accept that. It's fine.
Can you believe that they took that honeymooner show that was all white people back in 1955 and they put all black people on it and they put it on the ABC TV today?
God damn it, Cletus!
No, we're getting a ton of love now.
How could they do that to us?
I can't believe they took the white roles and they put black folk in the white roles. What kind of world are we living
They
in?
must be some Jews, I tell you.
I love how our hearts and our viewers were like skyrocketing. Why is ignorance always shown in a southern accent? Man said something about how come they can have all black TV but not all white TV. Here's the truth about this though. Every single channel on television is white TV, except for BET. I mean literally, I forget the exact statistics and we could look
Pretty
it up.
high.
Get the, not guessing, but estimated thing, I can't remember the exact number, of white to black on TV is like 94% of the roles on television are white. So it really is like every other channel is white TV. And on BET they have white people all the time. I watch BET all the time. It's not right for all black TV to be a thing, but until racism dies, it won't. To me, it is okay for black TV at this point in time because they have no other outlet to put out their voice on television where they're actually represented.
Anyone who wants to create or go into broadcasting and media has the right to do it, yeah.
Right.
And do what you want.
And have you ever watched CBS? That is like all white TV. Some people think that country music is for white people and are surprised that I
Eats
listen
water.
to it. He loves water. I just don't like being told I owe someone. Yeah, but I don't think anybody's telling you owe them. I think there is a preconceived notion that people say that. Some people say, why do black people always say that I owe them something? I didn't do nothing. No, you didn't. And I don't think that anybody reasonable and intelligent thinks that you did something or you owe them something. Racist, again, the South. These Jersey hipsters are a joke. But yet you're watching the show, and thank you for that. No one is entitled to anything. It's more acceptable to black people feel like they deserve something. I disagree with that. I think this is a good way to end the show. We just kind of had a debate, sort of, with our hater that's been watching the whole time, which doesn't even make sense. But thank you for bringing a
Thank you for
counterpoint.
hating everyone.
Exactly. We love
We love the hate. We coming?
And it's just the one guy or girl. I think what people don't realize when it comes to racism is segregation was only maybe 50 years ago. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Segregation was literally in not our lifetime as millennials, but our parents' lifetime, our grandparents' lifetime. You know, we have black friends whose parents lived through segregation, whose grandparents were not allowed to drink at a water fountain with white people. Mm-hmm. They were second-class citizens.
That's definitely one of the most important topics. Obviously, what do you expect with the people that you're dealing with back then? You know, people were a lot more secluded and they hung out with their own. How do you expect after 50 years for everything to completely change? There's still a lot of idiots that don't want to change. They don't want to learn about different types of people. They like what they do. They're shallow. There's not much to them. It's going to take a lot more than 50 years to change.
I think we've come a long way in certain areas and went backwards in other areas, to be honest.
Right. Technology is helping
both
communication.
Both ways, though.
Right.
It's helping the haters
helping
organize.
Bring people. Yeah. I think that common sense and human logic will play a big role in helping us move forward. We can't let hate win.
Somebody said it's a work in progress, and I completely agree with that.
Just don't worry about the haters. Don't spend too much time stressing people that are stupid and that hate you for what you are. You're wasting your energy. Just live your life. You have the power to not be stressed. You have the power every second to choose what to think about and make it something that's productive.
Somebody said I just flipped them off. There you go. I think this was awesome, actually.
Yeah.
So
I'll come more prepared next time. I really had, this was pretty. I didn't know what to expect, and got pretty weird,
awesome.
Guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
By last minute, he means I told him 2 weeks ago. Crap. What's your name? What's going to follow? Can't see it. I'm at KMacMusic. I'm at KMacMusic on Twitter, on Periscope, on everything. The website is Kyle2U.com. Brandon, you're on Twitter, aren't you?
No, I haven't been on Twitter in like 2 years.
What's your Insta?
My Instagram is brreed87 is my Instagram.
All right, cool. How often do you guys scope? I'm going to be doing this once a week at least. I'll be scoping every week for this show, Kyle2U. I think having more people of non-color discuss these topics with their friends will help. And that's exactly where I'm trying to come from.
Right.
Bigsy is, my show, my site, everything that I do is all about transforming your life, because my life was transformed by Miss Oprah and Miss Iyanla Vanzant. Miss Oprah and Miss Iyanla Vanzant changed my life through 4 episodes of the Emmy-winning Oprah's Life class, which is life-changing television. Miss O told me that it is my duty now to go on and help others, so that's what I've been doing. That's what I'm attempting to do. Brandon's great, one of my best friends, and we're very close, and we have debates and deep discussions all the time, and so I thought he'd be awesome to bring in. So we got all kinds of cool stuff planned. So hopefully I'll be doing this once a week in some form. This will be a podcast, and it's going to be edited into a video and put on YouTube. If it helps one person, or even gets somebody talking, if it starts a conversation between somebody else, then we've done our job, in my opinion. So, much love to everybody, all of you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your participation. It's been amazing. The response has been awesome. All the love we're getting. Look at all those hearts. That's awesome. We love you guys. So, signing out. I think this was such a good topic that I think we're going to revisit this very soon.
Yeah.
This definitely isn't a conversation that's over.
I was not prepared for any of this.